everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm coming with you for another Mondays with Meaning. So welcome to the Vital Tribe. If you're watching live in Facebook, please make sure you give StreamYard permission to show me who's watching. And if you're watching on another platform, you can put a comment there, or of course put replay in the comments if you watch at a later time. I'm Angela Ward, registered nurse, transformational coach, and CEO of Guardian at the Gateway, where we help seekers who are ready to heal to find their spark. Yeah, to get reignited and to quiet that disruptor, get some yumminess going in our lives. Today has been an interesting day so far. We started our week-long workshop inside the Unveiled Vitality group where we're talking about disrupting the disruptor. And we're going to be spending the next 5 days really digging into quieting negative self-talk. And I realized as I was talking about that today, what a deep, rich topic this is. We were discussing today, kind of introducing the concept of the disruptor. Some people call it the saboteur. Some people just call it negative self-talk. I wanted to say, and I'm going to reiterate this, I talked about this today in the training. I want to say that, first of all, that voice that stops us from doing things is actually an old protecting voice that we've had trying to take care of us for a long time. Oftentimes, it's protected us from harm in a younger place. If you're interested in learning more about some of these concepts, you might look into Richard Schwartz's work with internal family systems. But we can still work with this kind of younger piece of ourselves that really inhibit us from taking our adult action. And the reason that I like to identify the disruptor as a part of us that's not actually the core of us is because if we can kind of peel that off our bodies, have it over here and recognize when the patterns are going, we can actually kind of separate the thoughts from being able to take action. So I'd be really interested in understanding what happens for you when that voice starts. Move the needle in direction of social justice. I'm talking about disruption in the way of blocking us from thought I put my microphone in my face. Can you hear me now? Let me know. I'm going to talk some more. Well, that's a bummer. If I missed a whole bunch of this, then give me a thumbs up whether or not this is loud enough for you. La 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 la. Bummer. Okay. So I'm hearing that you can hear me now, and then I'm hearing that you can't hear me now. So I'm going to just, okay. Okay. Well, where did I lose you guys? Maybe I should start fresh. I think I was talking about the loop that happens. So let me start over again. When the disruptor is running, it's a pattern, it's a thought pattern that gets activated. And I've talked with some of you about this privately, and I've talked about it, I think, in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective. But what can happen is an event occurs, something happens that activates a thought pattern. That thought pattern is the story, the disruptor that we start running. And then from the thoughts that are going, we start having an emotional response to those thoughts. From those emotional responses, we make choices around how we're acting, or how we speak to others, or what we do. And those actions will often feed back into that like triggered thought pattern. It kind of creates this vicious cycle. And I would like to help you notice that that is indeed a pattern, that your thoughts create the actions that you take. So we can certainly talk more about disrupting the thought pattern, but understand that the trigger is not actually the thought, right? This is something that happens, but oftentimes the thought goes into this deep well of belief that maybe is a very old story. And I'm not sure where you guys came in with the audio, but I was sharing an example because I think we share a core wound of a feeling of not being welcome here, not belonging, not feeling worthy. Strangely, feeling that is a pretty common feeling, which is funny that we all feel that way, but it's a core wound. And so when that happens for me, when I'm in a situation when that gets activated for me of not feeling worthy, or that I don't belong, or that, any of that story, an action happens, I think that thought, oh, I don't belong here. These aren't my people. This isn't right. Or I'm not worthy of this. I then have an emotional response to it. Usually it might be shame or a contracted energy, feeling really bad. So then I start behaving in a certain way that reinforces that pattern. Does that make sense? I hope that makes some sense to you guys. So what I would really like you to do, if you're working with this concept around this disrupting voice, or the thought that starts cycling, is seeing if you can catch it when it's starting. Say, oh, isn't that interesting? That's a fun way to think about it. Like looping into the thought, being like, wow, look at what's happening right now. My brain just went down this crazy rabbit hole. And you're off to the races with this negative self-talk stuff. And that is not helpful. So first, just noticing, and then bringing yourself back to the breath of the present moment. Feeling your feet on the ground, maybe putting a hand on your heart if you're feeling super activated, and allowing yourself to settle and notice that you're feeling that trigger. From that place, we're moving back into a more relaxed, hopefully parasympathetic state where we're getting more blood flow to the frontal cortex, and we can make better choices around our thoughts when we have that more calm and grounded way of thinking and being. And just to speak back, that there's a bit of a differentiation of disruptor. So there is, of course, the disruptor that inhibits us from achieving the things that we need, that really blocks us and hobbles us in our lives. But there's also the disruptor of someone like Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement. And I want to make sure that this is really differentiated. I think the ways that I can tell the difference between them is if An action is disrupting something in service of the whole, in service of the greater good, in service of deepening our awareness around how all might be harmed or oppressed. I think that's an okay way to disrupt, especially non-violently, please. Please, coming from love and grace. But the one that I think is important to disrupt is the one that blocks us, suppresses us, that voice that keeps us really closed down and tight. So I hope that makes some sense. If you guys have any questions, type them in. Hopefully I can hear it now, which would be fantastic. Do we need a Martin Luther King Day card? Would that be fun? Who's nearby today? I mean, let's do a little spirit animal because it's the nice one, right? Who doesn't love the spirit animals? Okay. So I like to add these little cards just for fun. This doesn't have to have any deep meaning unless you assign it some deep meaning. But really, it's just a way to give us a different perspective for the week that we're going to look through. So I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to just keep doing that until the first person tells me to stop. Keep on going. Hope you all can hear me well. What is the little animal that wants to join us for today? Don't all tell me what to do at once. Okay, then maybe I'll just have to figure out which card it is. It's this one. What is this one? Ooh, we got a reversed stag. The stag spirit card. Isn't that pretty? But it was upside down like that. So let us read what stag spirit has to say. It said, take the lead on the bottom. And I'd like to invite you to contemplate the meaning of this card in relationship to the upcoming week. Maybe while we're talking about the inauguration, or we're talking about some potentially stressful times that we might be going through. And also, how might you manage your mind during this time? How might you disrupt your disruptor this week? So let me read it to you. Thank you, Christina. I think I stopped right before I got your message. One of these days, the technology is going to be so amazing. You can just be like, ding, ding, ding. Have you push a button or something. But it's all in divine timing, right? Here we go. Take the lead. I've never had my microphone this close to me before, so something definitely must be weird. It's kind of like, I feel like I'm doing a podcast. Weird. Okay. I'll show you stag. Can you see stag? Okay. There we go. Okay. Others may not be as far along as you are on your journey. When stag spirit appears in the protection position, as we got it, you are called to be compassionate and patient as you find yourself leading the way. When others struggle to follow you, they may be unsure that you can be trusted, challenging you to be kind and strong, challenging you to value and question your worth. Know that Spirit has put you in this place at this time for a purpose and will not abandon you when you need help with your new responsibilities. Or perhaps you are actually uncomfortable leading, maybe temporarily trapped by your small self and therefore promoting yourself too strongly, afraid that others might see your weaknesses or imperfections in you. Let go of your fears and let Stag Spirit remind you that you have what it takes to lead wisely and ethically if you practice self-honesty and listen to others who wish to support you. Well, I love that. So there's old stag spirit. I don't know why I have to say it like that. Little stag spirit. I'd love to hear how that might land for you over this week, leading from a place of compassion, vulnerability, and openness. All right, my loves. So good to talk with you. I hope to see you in tomorrow's session, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time in the Unveiled Vitality Facebook group, or if you like the YouTube link, let me know. And yeah, hopefully this week's going to bring some real insight, help you ground, manage your mind, get some breakthroughs. I really hope that we can get some like really deep insights that help you feel better. Feel better. Yeah. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you for joining.